Welcome to SNP Knowledge Series. In this episode, let's discuss on the topic SNP 5S Model for Navigating Supply Chain Disruptions, authored by SN Panigrahi. Supply chains under pressure. Navigating VUCA and BANI. In today's highly dynamic global environment shaped by VUCA, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity, and evolving into BANI, brittle, anxious, non-linear, incomprehensible conditions, supply chains are under unprecedented and continuous pressure. Disruptions are no longer occasional, they have become the new normal, driven by geopolitical tensions, pandemics, trade policy shifts, accelerated AI adoption, rapid technological transformation, and climate-related uncertainties. Middle East crisis, ripple effects on global supply, inflation and economic stability. The ongoing geopolitical disruptions in the Middle East are generating multidimensional ripple effects across global systems, with simultaneous shocks emerging in energy, technology, logistics, and labor markets. This reflects a dark swan scenario, where multiple high-impact, very rare and unpredictable events with no clear prior signals, black swans, occur concurrently, amplifying systemic risk. At the core of this lies the multivector domino effect, a complex risk phenomenon where multiple independent disruption chains converge and unfold simultaneously, significantly amplifying the scale, speed, and intensity of impact. Amid ongoing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, critical supply chains are under severe stress, triggering supply-side shocks in essential commodities such as crude oil, LNG, LPG, natural gas, petrochemicals, fertilizers, shipping capacity, and food grains. These pressures are cascading across key sectors, including refineries, manufacturing, transportation, agriculture, pharmaceuticals, construction, and energy-intensive industries, resulting in reduced output, operational disruptions, and significantly constrained global production capacity. The broader socio-economic impact includes declining incomes, workforce disruptions, including migrant labor, and job losses in sensitive sectors, further amplifying economic stress. Collectively, this interconnected disruption cycle is weakening global economic stability, making resilient, agile, and adaptive supply chain strategies essential for sustaining growth and long-term competitiveness. Navigating complex supply networks. As a result of these events, supply chains are becoming increasingly complex, highly interconnected, and inherently risk-prone, with vulnerabilities amplified across global networks, multi-tier suppliers, and dynamic market conditions. Traditional procurement models, focused on cost efficiency, optimization, and linear planning, are no longer adequate in today's volatile, disruption-driven environment. They lack the flexibility, speed, and intelligence required to manage dynamic risks, supply uncertainties, and rapidly evolving market conditions. From cost efficiency to resilience and strategic advantage, organizations must transition to agile, resilient, adaptive, and digitally enabled procurement ecosystems, leveraging real-time data, predictive analytics, and end-to-end visibility. These capabilities enable early risk sensing, proactive decision-making, and rapid response to disruptions, while ensuring continuity across complex, multi-tier supply networks. This shift is essential not only for operational resilience and business continuity, but also for driving cost optimization, risk mitigation, innovation, and long-term strategic competitiveness in an increasingly uncertain global landscape. SNP 5S Model. The SNP 5S, a copyright model, developed by SN Panigrahi, provides a comprehensive and actionable approach aligned to 5S to strengthening supply chain resilience in today's volatile and uncertain environment. S&P 5S model. Anchored in 5 integrated pillars, S&P, and aligned with the 5S philosophy, it enables organizations to systematically sense emerging risks, build end-to-end visibility, respond with agility, strengthen core capabilities, and sustain performance under disruption. The framework empowers businesses to move beyond reactive firefighting toward proactive risk anticipation, informed decision-making, and dynamic adaptation. By institutionalizing learning and continuous improvement, S&P helps organizations transform disruptions into opportunities to enhance resilience, drive strategic agility, and become truly future-ready. Let's deliberate on each element of ESNPE aligned with 5S. E. Early signals and exposure assessment, sense risk alerts and awareness. Detect disruptions before they escalate. The journey begins with proactive sensing, scanning geopolitical shifts, climate risks, technological disruptions, and multi-tier supplier exposure and supplier financial health before they crystallize into crisis. By institutionalizing the RODIC, risks, opportunities, assumptions, dependencies, issues, and constraints framework and augmenting it with AI-driven, structured intelligence, the organization builds a proactive early warning and decision support ecosystem. This approach continuously scans and correlates weak signals across supply, pricing, demand, and logistics networks, transforming fragmented data into real-time, actionable insights. With automated alerts, predictive risk sensing, and scenario-based foresight, it not only mitigates disruptions before they escalate but also uncovers hidden opportunities, ensuring resilient, agile operations where leadership is consistently informed, prepared, and never blindsided. The next in the S&P framework is S. Supply mapping and supply base exposure. C. Supplier visibility heat maps. Visualize the end-to-end, full supply network. Sensing alone is insufficient. Sensing without visibility limits action. True resilience begins with the ability to see, to fully understand the depth and complexity of the supply network. This requires end-to-end transparency across Tier 1 to Tier N suppliers, uncovering hidden dependencies, single-source risks, geographic concentrations, and critical choke points. By transforming fragmented and opaque supply structures into intelligent, visual heat maps, organizations gain a clear, decision-ready view of exposure and vulnerability. This enables proactive risk mitigation, informed sourcing strategies, and stronger supply assurance in an increasingly uncertain environment. The N in S&P is Navigate, Risk-Aware Decision Pathways, Shift Response Tracker. Activate decisive responses to disruption. When black swan disruptions, sudden, high-impact, low-probability shocks fracture supply chains and destabilize operating assumptions, the Navigate phase converts strategic intent into rapid, coordinated execution. It builds immediate operational momentum by triggering decisive, time-critical shifts across the entire network, realigning flows, activating contingencies, and synchronizing cross-functional responses, ensuring swift, structured action when it matters most. Like a ping-pong ball in relentless motion, agility keeps the organization bouncing back with speed and precision, absorbing every shock, redirecting force, and returning stronger across every disrupted node. With predictive analytics and scenario-based planning as the decision backbone, enterprises enable real-time, risk-aware choices, redesigning networks on the fly and responding with precision under uncertainty. This ensures disruptions are not breaking points, but managed inflection moments, where agility, speed, and structured response convert uncertainty into control and continuity. The next in SNP is P. Prepare for future disruptions, strengthen capability index. Build structural resilience ahead of shocks. Resilience is not rebuilt in crisis, it is designed, stress-tested, and institutionalized in advance. The strengthen phase shifts organizations from reactive recovery to proactive readiness by embedding structural resilience into the core of the supply chain architecture. This includes investing in strategic buffers, dual and multi-sourcing networks, flexible capacity, and digital twin simulations to anticipate and absorb shocks before they escalate. Using BOTI analysis, cause, event, consequence mapping, organizations systematically identify risk pathways, linking root causes to potential disruptions, while strengthening both preventive controls to avoid failures and mitigative controls to contain impact and accelerate recovery. This ensures vulnerabilities are not just managed but engineered out of the system. Resilience is further reinforced through deep supplier collaboration, scenario-driven playbooks, capability benchmarking, and continuous risk intelligence, enabling faster adaptation under uncertainty. The result is a shift from fragile, reactive networks to adaptive, shock-absorbing ecosystems. Ultimately, strengthen is a continuous strategic discipline, not a post-crisis response, ensuring every disruption meets an organization that is prepared, resilient by design, and built to absorb, adapt, and emerge stronger with competitive advantage. The last element in SNP is E. Execution, resilience, and evolution. Sustain continuous improvement metrics. Embed resilience as an operating system. The sustain phase transforms resilience from a one-time response into a self-reinforcing, continuously evolving capability. It institutionalizes learning through real-time feedback loops, post-disruption reviews, KPI-driven governance, and cross-functional knowledge integration, ensuring every event strengthens future readiness. Resilience isn't built once, it is continuously executed, measured, and evolved into lasting competitive advantage. By embedding performance metrics, execution discipline, and continuous risk intelligence, organizations create systems that not only respond faster but learn, adapt, and improve with each disruption, eliminating repeat vulnerabilities and sharpening decision-making precision. Ultimately, sustain shifts resilience from recovery to evolution, building supply chains that become progressively smarter, faster, and structurally stronger, turning every disruption into a catalyst for long-term competitive advantage. Conclusion. Taken together, the SNP 5S model is not merely a disruption management framework. It is a conceptual implementation of conscious, continuous, and compounding supply chain resilience, where sensing feeds seeing, seeing enables shifting, shifting is sustained by strengthening organizational capability, and everything is permanently institutionalized through execution and evolution. Resilient supply chains in a disruptive world demand a holistic approach, eliminate single points of failure through diversified sourcing while building proximate, agile logistics networks that can flex under pressure. Balancing efficiency with continuity requires process alternations, designing for material flexibility, and strengthening supplier ecosystems so alternatives are always within reach. Layering digital tools for predictive intelligence enables early disruption signals to trigger swift response, while financial and energy risk strategies future-proof operations against macro shocks. Ultimately, optimizing total cost to risk ensures every resilience investment is justified not just by savings, but by the strategic protection it provides. The SNP framework transforms the supply chain from a fragile cost center and reactive systems into a robust, proactive, adaptive, and resilient ecosystem, capable of navigating the chaos of the modern world with precision and speed. Do you find the presentation informative and useful? If yes, then click like and also subscribe the channel for free to receive updates. Thank you. For more details contact SN Panigrahi at the below contact details.